How's it going? Today is a little bit different. I actually am spending the day with Rylan. Like I said in my last video, Rylan's been having some difficulty at school and at daycare. We've noticed this probably since he was about 2 years old, but we're just now getting into doing more autism testing, therapies, working with the school behavioral team and the school psychologists and the evaluations and stuff like that. Yesterday, Rylan actually got in trouble at daycare. He's been having a really rough time there with some inappropriateness. So he actually cannot go to daycare today. So on days like that, it always leaves me stuck home or doing work from home or doing something crazy with my work schedule. So I figured I will take you guys along with me for the ride. If I have to be home, you guys have to be with me. So, it's early morning. I already took the other 3 kids to school and daycare. I'm getting ready to wake up Rai so that we can get ready for therapy. Hi, sweet boy. Hi. It's time to wake up. Good morning. Ow. You got to sleep in, honey bunny. Oh, there's Butters. Butters gonna give you kisses. Hey, buddy. Silly dog. Okay, you want to get up and get ready? We're out to get ready for therapy, okay? Good idea? Okay, no talking. He's not awake yet. Well, he is, but... Alright, I'll check back in. Sherman. Hi, kitty. Good morning. We have therapy today.
Oh, yeah.
You're excited to see Dion? Kinda. You like Dion, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
I just hope that I might get a different candy.
A different candy?
Yeah.
We gotta work, right? Work first and then play and get candy, right? So you gotta do the work, right? So you gotta talk to Dion and work on therapy first. And then you get playtime. And then you earn a candy if you complete whatever task or challenge or whatever he has for the day. But I'm sure if you get one that you absolutely don't like that one you got last time, you can tell Dion and he'll let you repick. But you gotta ask nicely, right? So, you can't go to daycare today, right? You got suspended from daycare for the day. And we're off. So this is Rylan's second time seeing this therapist. He had another counselor before a couple months ago, but they just really weren't meshing very well and there wasn't any progress being made. So we got him go ahead and get in, buddy. A different therapist at the same building. But this time we got him a guy to see if he responds better to males. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Let's get on the road here. So yeah, like I said, all this kind of started, we started seeing things with Rylan when he was really young. He had some sensory issues, like not liking loud music or things like that. Certain clothes really bothered him. He would get really, really, really frustrated if he couldn't communicate what he was trying to communicate, and the meltdowns were so hard. There was many, many harsh days with him as a baby before he was like really talking and communicating well. Obviously the communication part has gotten a little bit better, but he still doesn't understand how to communicate like his actual feelings, or what's happening in the moments, like why he's angry. Certain things, like he doesn't know how to explain them. So that's kind of what therapy is doing for him now, is trying to teach him the different emotions and how to explain them in detail, instead of getting so frustrated and having all these big, huge like meltdowns, which anybody who has had a child with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, or anything, they understand meltdowns completely, because there's not a whole lot you can do once they're to that point. They just kind of, for him, it's like an overload of a lot of sensory issues. It could be a noise that's affecting him, that's irritating him, a lot of commotion in the classroom. He has a lot of issues at school with sensory overload, so a lot of commotion or movement in the classroom, schedule changes, time switches, like changing from one subject to the next. He has a really hard time doing that, because if he's not completed with one task, or if he feels like he's not done doing something, or if he hasn't had enough time to do it, then he gets like really frustrated. So we're working on that with him at school as well. That's why the behavior team is doing their evaluations and stuff. Yeah, so it's been pretty rough. He does currently have a 504 plan. The biggest reason why we're doing all the other therapies and working with the school psychologist and behavior team, and his pediatrician says yes, he's got high functioning autism, but he hasn't seen a neurologist yet to give him like the official autism testing, I don't know, that the school wants, to get that diagnosis so that he can get an IEP and have more services available to him, such as therapies and stuff at school, things like that. They can come to the house, different things that he'd have more accessibility to with the actual diagnosis. So in the meantime, we're doing what we can, starting with obviously the local mental health counselors and things like that, teaching him emotions, how being angry can be big angry or little angry, or different degrees of angry or frustrated, or things like that. Trying to get him to understand facial cues. He also doesn't really understand other people's emotions, so he'll do things that he thinks are funny but other people are upset about, but he doesn't understand that they're upset. Even though they're like yelling at him, telling him to stop, he still thinks it's funny because he doesn't understand what's going on with them. So he's learning how to deal with that too. That is becoming kind of an issue with like his brother. What you doing back there, buddy? Nothing. Just hanging out. So, yeah. Like I said, we've gone through a lot of meds for his ADHD. We've tried them all of them. And while he was able to, sit in his seat longer and focus more on his schoolwork, it also heightened his sensory sensitivity. So it actually triggered more meltdowns than it helped. So that was the issue with the ADHD meds. So like he wanted to do his work so much that if he ran out of time, he was like freaking out, and all of his sensories was like hyper sensitive. So lights, sounds, commotion, tags, clothing, everything was driving him bonkers, and he was having meltdowns sometimes 3 times a week. There was a good couple months where I was having to leave work every other day to go pick him up from school. So that's when we went back to the pediatrician and completely took him off all meds. The pediatrician decided that it was doing more harm than it was doing any good. So we are back to just 0 meds, just working on therapy and teaching him how to self-manage and self-cope. Maybe sometime in the future there'll be other medications that we can try. But he is young right now. He's 7 years old, and he is a little tiny guy. He doesn't have a whole lot of weight on him. So I think they're more weary of starting him on like any kind of like anxiety meds, or like obviously they can't do like the any kind of like antipsychotic or anything like that, which he might not need. But I'm just throwing that out there. He's like too young anyways for any of that. So yeah. Food I don't think is too much of an issue. I mean, it kind of is. He's a little bit picky, but he's also pretty good still at trying new things at least once. He's good at least trying it. He doesn't always like everything, and he definitely, once he's tried it and decided he doesn't like it, that's it. He's not trying it again, because he remembers that he didn't like it the first time. Whether it's a new recipe or a different whatever, he didn't like it the first time, he's not trying it again. So his eating is a little bit here and there, but he does have a pretty big variety, considering most kids his age, you know, tend to live on chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, which is like his brother. Veggies, of course, are hard. He doesn't like veggies.
I mostly only like orange.
You mostly only like oranges? Is that what you said? There's one vegetable he likes. He says it's green and a little bit spicy. Like a green bean? No green bean. But it's green. And spicy?
Yeah, and it kind of looks like meat.
And it looks like meat?
No, all grown meat.
Oh, like wheat?
Yeah.
Oh, asparagus?
Yeah.
Oh, you like asparagus?
Yeah.
Oh, you like the pickled asparagus. In the jar? Yeah. Okay. That's why it's a little bit spicy, because we've had like spicy pickled asparagus. Yes, buddy, that stuff's amazing. Fruits, he loves fruits though. He'll eat all kinds of apples and oranges and grapes and watermelon. He doesn't like cantaloupe or honeydew. Honeydew is the green one that looks like a cantaloupe, but it's green. All right, so therapy is over. That was kind of an intense session, huh, buddy? So today was a little bit intense. Dion did an exercise where he intentionally he's trying to get to know Ryland and try to get to know what exactly we mean when we say he gets angry and has a meltdown. So he did a art project type situation, which because Rylan is a extreme perfectionist, ended up causing a meltdown where he got pretty angry. So it was actually a really good example for the therapist to see exactly what happens and kind of what triggers, one of the triggers anyways, of the anger and the meltdowns and the frustrations, and the fact that he's not able to really communicate his feelings before then. So yeah, therapy was a little bit intense for Rylan. He's kind of in a mood right now. He worked hard, so Dion did reward him with a candy, so he's a little bit happier now that he has a Starburst to eat. But it was a hard day for him. What, Bubba? Never mind. Okay. So with that being said, with Rylan kind of being an iffy kind of, we never know how the rest of the day is gonna go. If he has a bad morning, kind of the whole day is triggered. So a lot of little things will kind of trigger more and more meltdowns as the day goes on, depending on the stimuli and what's going on around him. So I was originally going to take him home, drop him with my husband, and go to work for a few hours. But that's probably not the best idea today. Chris is still hurt. He's got, you know, a broken left wrist, and he's still working on his ankle sprain, and he's dealing with a lot of paperwork and stuff today. So they just probably wouldn't be compatible today, and they'd probably be triggering each other frustrated wise. So I don't really want to leave Chris with that. So I think what my plan is right now is just to swing by work and grab my laptop, so that I can at least do some emails and work on some like behind the scenes inventory stuff, part stuff like that, ordering batteries and stuff, instead of completely not getting any kind of work done. I'll at least get a little bit of something done today. I won't get any receiving or shipping done. There probably shouldn't be any shipping to do actually, so that'll be okay. But I won't really get any receiving done today, which is a bummer. But yeah, I mean, this is just a day in the life of a child that has special needs. It is very exhausting. This happens quite frequently where we're doing therapies, and therapies lead to bad days, and bad days are exhausting emotionally, mentally. I mean, it's hard on him because he doesn't want to be mad, he doesn't want to be frustrated, he doesn't want to feel bad, but he can't really control it. So it's frustrating and tiring on him. On bad days, by the end of the day, he's just exhausted and tired, and you know, he's ready for bed. You know what I mean? And it's tiring for us. It's straining on, you know, relationships within the house. You know, people fighting and arguing, and you know, it's harder for the siblings to like keep that bond with him when they're constantly like, I don't understand why Rylan does this, because they're having, you know, they don't get it either. You know, we're all still kind of learning about Rylan and who he is and what's going on. So it's a process for the whole family, and we're all kind of working together and learning together and learning right along with Rylan. Yeah, baby. We are going to my work right now. We're gonna go grab my laptop, my work laptop. Well, probably not, buddy, because you had a rough day. But yeah, I mean, so, and then it's hard on obviously my work schedule. Thank goodness right now, at least, my work has been completely, you know, understanding, and they're just kind of working with me. There's no saying how long that will last before they're like, enough is enough, you've taken too much time off, you know, and that's completely their decision. You know what, there's, you know, you got to understand they want people to be at work, and that's completely understandable, but right now they're a godsend, you know, a blessing. But you know, we go day to day. There's good days and there's bad days. The school kind of knows ahead of time, even starting at like breakfast, whether Ryland's gonna have a good day or a bad day. They start to see those triggers come out in the morning usually, and they know right from then on that they're gonna have it's gonna be extra work. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna head to work right now, and then see what our day brings. Hey guys, so yesterday I kind of just quit vlogging. I got pretty busy dealing with Ryland and his behavior and stuff, and just kind of got distracted. But here we are the next day, after he was home with me all day yesterday, had been suspended from daycare, had a harsh, you know, therapy day. Now he's back at school today, and he's only been there maybe an hour, and I already got a call from the principal saying that he's not necessarily angry, but he is throwing things around in the classroom and making a bunch of noise. That typically means that he is stimming and sensory searching. So his brain is, you know, needs some kind of stimulation, sensory wise. So I don't know if you guys have ever, like, if you're familiar with autism or any of the levels. Like I said, we're working on official, you know, neurological diagnosis, but they're pretty convinced that he's high functioning autism, which used to be called Aspergers. And one of those traits of many autistic kids is stimming, sensory searching behaviors, whether that's, you know, like repetitive, you know, tapping or rubbing their fingers, things that are just kind of self-soothing. So that is what is going on right now. I'm actually heading to the school. He didn't necessarily say he needed to be picked up, but he wanted me to see if I can come talk to him, see if I can kind of de-escalate, see what's going on. If it's a behavior that's going to continue throughout the day, I will have to pick him up. And that is because we are still in the middle of all these evaluations with behavior team, psychology team, special ed team. So he's still in a general education classroom right now. He's not set up with an IEP yet. So he doesn't have like a peer advocate or anybody in the classroom with him, because we haven't gotten that far in this process. So it's literally like the teacher trying to keep him contained, entertained, you know, while trying to teach, you know, 20-something other kids, which is very overwhelming for not only her, but for the other kids, because it's very distracting. So because she doesn't necessarily have that support, it usually means I have to pick him up. And that's just kind of part of this process that we've been going through. Yeah, so I will keep you guys updated on after I pick him up from school and see whether I get to go back to work or if he's home with me for the rest of today, which is a huge bummer considering yesterday I didn't get any work done, and it's looking like today is not going to be a good work day for me. So, all right, I'll check back in. All right, hi guys. So I'm just now leaving the school. I've been there about an hour, and so when I got to the classroom, it definitely wasn't like a meltdown that was going on. He was just very, very distracted and kind of in his own little world. Just wasn't engaging with the class, with the teachers. He usually has a free pass to like go into the office to play Legos for a little bit. He has what they call like a break pass, where he says, I just need a break. And he can go and take a walk in the hallway with one of the adults, or, you know, go to the office and play Legos or something like that for just a little bit, just so he can get a break and refocus and regather and go back to class. He wasn't interested today in doing that. So that was they didn't want to get him to the point where he was going to escalate. So they kind of noticed ahead of time, pinpointed kind of the trigger signs of one of his meltdowns. So what I did is I just kind of went into the classroom and sat next to him. And he was, you know, at first kind of just being a little goofy, making funny faces. He was playing with scissors and, you know, not really doing anything, wasn't working on work. He was just, like I said, just kind of in his own little world. So it took a minute of me sitting next to him to kind of get him more calmed down. The classroom was transitioning into another subject. I obviously need to go back to school. And so helped him through that transition, getting the work that he was supposed to be doing, that he wasn't, packed back up and put away, and getting him on to the next task. That went fairly smoothly today. It took a little bit of redirecting and reminding what he was supposed to be doing and what was going on. And he has a little a tiger, Tony Tiger, that he uses in the classroom when he's like upset, or it's one of his like stim things that he gets to mess with. So he started, you know, fidgeting with the tiger, but he was still listening and he was quiet. So that helped out a little bit. Like I said, I was there for a good hour. So when he was getting a little bit more hyper or too loud with Tony, I just kind of rested my hand on his shoulder and he would bring it down. I didn't really have to use verbal cues. It was more of just a, hey, bring it down just a little, you know, just that one touch. And he was able to bring his body down to more level, controlled wiggle. And then he actually was able to get back on track and focused and get some work done, and draw his picture and do the things he was supposed to be doing. So I'm proud of him for that. He got back on track. He got a sticker from his teacher and his behavior chart for being on task and keeping his levels good. So he did get a reward sticker for getting back on track. It was explained to him that I needed to go back to work, and so I can't stay there the whole day. But so he knew that, you know, I stayed there till they were off to lunch, and we had a little bit of talk about, okay, when you come back from lunch and recess, we just want to make sure that you'll be able to focus quietly, and not be distracting, and you know what I mean. And he was like, I can do it. So I did tell the principal I won't be far. I kind of need to stay close to the school, so I'll probably just be doing some work from home, just because if his day doesn't correct after lunch, they will call me again to come either sit with him, and just try to keep him at a level, a manageable level. And this isn't, obviously we're not looking for perfection here. He's still gonna wiggle, he's still gonna move, he's still gonna make little noises. The biggest thing is not like loudly outbursting. Like he was every 15 seconds just being like, bah, bah, you know, just making noises out loud that were distracting. So just keeping him a little bit more manageable so he's not such a distraction. He's always going to be, you know, on the uppity side, fidgety. The class is kind of adapted to most of his noises and fidgets and quirks. You know, he has to get up and walk around the classroom and touch certain things and then sit down, or you know, he just kind of takes laps or whatever. So they're kind of adapted to his little bit of awkwardness. It's not really awkward, it's just Rylan. But yeah, so I am just grabbing my work laptop because I forgot it when I was running out of work today. Check in there, make sure there's not a whole lot going on that, you know, needs to be done on site, and then I will probably head back home so I can be close to the school and be on call. Is kind of how it is today with his behavior. All right, here we are at the end of the day. The afternoon was not too bad. After lunch, I guess Rylan made it through the rest of the day. I was able to get a little bit of work done, but not too much. But yeah, bud. Since he's been home though after school, it's been a little rough. He's been quite hyper and fidgety and loud, and which is of course driving his brother insane. So it's like constant yelling match right now in the house between the two of them, which is kind of exhausting because I'm sick of listening to it, but no matter what I say, they don't stop. So kitty cat, don't go nowhere. We're sitting out on the balcony because it's, you know, nice sunset. But yeah, you know, it's been one of those days. I'm just hoping that as our journey goes on, we get more and more help for Rylan, and that he learns more and more control. So yeah, I guess I can keep vlogging about it. Rylan, say hi. Hi. Just keep vlogging about it and keeping you guys in loop on our journey. Wish us luck. I guess I will add in, of course, MDA walk is on Saturday. So obviously I didn't have so much time to fundraise for that one. It was kind of really last minute, spur of the moment. But I'll still go. I'll still enjoy it. Still support my work since they sponsor it. So I'll be there. I'll do the walk. It'll be fun. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully it brings light to anybody who's in this journey or just curious. Have, you know, behaviorally challenging children. You're not alone. A lot of people are going through the same thing as you. A lot of the issues that these kids are having are kind of the same. So
Mom, what are
yeah,
these things
I feel your pain, and I'm here, and I'm just getting it out there so everyone knows they're not alone. I don't know what that is, honey. It's a seed to some kind of tree. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Catch you later.